Hi folks, I'm Gibbid. Welcome back to my channel. There's Bridget. So okay, obviously I've not picked the best day again. If you can hear my husband in the background, that's him trying to be quiet. Bridget's home today, so you'll see her you'll hear her pottering around and lapping her water. And I've got some eco dye on the stove bubbling away, so that's the bubbling sound you can hear in the background. So sorry about all that. I hope you can hear me okay. So just recently, if you've been wondering where I've been working on some more Woodland journal kits. So if you didn't see them, chronologically, if you go back to my last video, I show you a proper look through. So I'm not going to do that today because they're sort of almost exactly the same. But I had quite a few inquiries, so thank you Bridget, thank you to everyone who bought a kit after the last video. So I decided before I go on to the next big project, I would just make some more while I had all the materials together. So that's what I've done. You'll find them on my website. I'm only selling on Etsy at the moment. I'm only selling digitals for reasons I've explained before. But on my website you will find the kits, you will find these mushroom tag sets that I am about to show you because this is new. And all my digitals are there, and if you want a digital, just to remind you that on the website it is cheaper than Etsy. So can you hear the dog? Okay, so where was I? Yeah, exactly the same thing. You'll find it cheaper on the website for complicated reasons. Okay, also on the website I have some freebie digital downloads, so please feel free to go and look at those. You do have to go into the shop section to find the freebies. And also just a reminder, if you're buying digitals from me, if you do not make a guest account, it means that you have access to the downloads forever, or you know, until I get hit by a bus, if that should happen. So they will be there always for you so long as the website exists. So in that sense it is like Etsy. Right, so where am I? Okay, so with the kits, because I've made quite a few this time, I did have to substitute a couple of things, a few things I ran out of. So they're like almost the same, not exactly the same. And I was going to show you the pieces that are different, but then I started to bore myself. So I'll just tell you that if I substitute something, I always feel like I want to make it better. So it'll be slightly upgraded, any substitutions that you get. So if you're not happy with something that you've bought, I will absolutely rectify it and make sure that you are happy. So let's move on. I recently met through a friend, another friend called Dee, and she's a wonderful watercolour artist, and I asked her if it would be okay to show some of her cards on my next video. So I'll show you these really beautiful wildlife watercolours. She's a watercolour artist, and she does some exceptional dog portraits and child portraits also. She works off a photo, I believe, usually. And these are some of her wildlife cards, as you can see, printed on really nice quality card. So Dee is trying to build up her small business, so I hope that if that, you know, portraits and such is something that you're considering, you will consider her. So this is, it's stiff key when that focuses. Okay, so Stiff Key is actually the town where she lives. So her name is Dee Desborough. Stiff Key Dee's Art, and you'll find her on Etsy and on Instagram under the same name. So that's Dee. Thank you very much, Dee. These are really beautiful. I'm very pleased with these cards. So I was putting one of these in each journal kit. Okay, right, I need to make a quick pause. Okie dokie, so a mushroom tag set I've made that I wanted to show you. This, I've been trying to find time to make this for absolutely ages, so I'm really pleased that it's finally finished. So let's show you, there's 8 pieces, and these are the pieces. There's a little wallet here with a removable journaling card or space. There's a tuck with some fussy cuts. So each piece features a mushroom somehow. So of course some of these are different because they are book pages. So that's one. This is a library card that I designed, printed on a nice sturdy card. So that's 2. Let's put those there. A little vintage illustration, backed onto tea dye, and quite a lot of these actually feature my own art. This is one of an illustration that I did recently in a sort of vintage style. Just waiting for this to sort of focus. I've backed these tags onto eco-dyed paper. I really think this camera's dying at the moment. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. A sort of pen and ink style. Not cooperating today again. Okay, this one you have seen before, but I've included it. This is kind of grungy. This is my own rubber stamp. An envelope with a wax seal with a mushroom stamp with gold, and some hand stitching here on some hand-dyed scraps, tracing paper, book page, and I've lined these with sewing paper, which I think look quite cool, and it gives a nice kind of a soft padded effect as well to the envelope. I really like that. And then these, of course, these are different because they're cut from book pages again. Little flower fairy, like a floating pocket. I love these pictures. Are just, each one is cuter than the next one. They're so sweet. So this is my own art. Another pen drawing, which I have fussy cut and printed out to make several of, and this being my favourite one. So in designing this kit I was looking for lots of quotes and poems to use about mushrooms, but we seem to be sadly lacking. There is really not that much around. So in the end I wrote my own poem, which is quite terrible. I'm not a poet, but that's what I filled the space with. So if that focuses, you may be able to pause and have a read. And what I've done is, this is a print of some eco dye. I've made a little slot pocket here with another mushroom library card, and it's like a double pocket, and there we go. I've lined this again with sewing paper. If you're doing this, if you crinkle up your paper first, it's much better. It gives a nice padded effect. I'm really liking it. So somebody was asking me what that is. It's the old vintage sewing patterns just using the old paper out of those. And this new rubber stamp. Sorry, let me pause. Okay, sorry, just more noise. Okay, and this picture is another, I made this new rubber stamp in a kind of vintage style, which I'm very pleased with. It's got his little skirt on there. I think they call this a ring, this part of the mushroom, but I prefer a skirt, like a little frilly tutu. So that's that, and that's backed on craft, and you have this nice big pocket here for your journaling needs. So I think that's it. My next project is potentially a biggie. I've got this idea brewing for a new journal. What usually happens is I write my ideas down, and then about, I don't know, a year later probably I actually get finished sort of thinking about them and getting them out in the open. This one has happened a bit suddenly, and I'm not sure if it's going to work, but at the moment I'm thinking this is the next thing that I really want to work on. So it's a new journal, it's a new concept journal, something again a bit different for me, and you know, I hope it works. So it's going to be several weeks, maybe more than a month, I imagine, before you see me again, unless in between I'm able to do something smaller. That's possible too. So anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys with my new project, and I wish you well. Until then, enjoy the rest of the summer, and take care. I will see you soon. Bye everyone.